ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCraft Inc. In these games, I am bringing to you mono battles. And no, I know what you're thinking, we do not all have the kissing disease, and although I am tired, it is merely because I am up at 4 o'clock in the morning casting games for you. Now, this is a team game, a 4v4, with all the SSN members except for 2 of them, so every player here is an SSN member. If you've watched Game 1, you know that it's myself, SSN Incarnate, it is SSN Smashcab, SSN Revolve, who is actually Eurosmy on his Smurf account, and we have SSN Spite. Now, the premise of this is you can only build 1 unit, and you declare it at the beginning. So looking at the message log, SSN Spite is declaring Hydra. Revolve is declaring the Cattle Bruiser, also known as the Battle Cruiser, in honor of Day 9, who invented this game type, and Thor is coming from Smashcab. I'm going Mass Sentry. We are only allowed to build that single unit. We are allowed static defense, so Protoss can build cannons, Terran can build bunkers and missile turrets, as well as planetary fortresses, by the way. And Zerg is allowed their spine crawlers and spore crawlers, etc., 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 and 1 queen per hatchery. Now, the catch. This is our placement matches for this season. The 4 of us have not played as a team yet this season, and we are playing all our placement matches as mono battles. So, our opponents do not have to build the same unit all game long, whereas we do. So, if none of us have anti-air and they build air units, we're shit out of luck. We are boned. They can throw us over the table and spank us with a paddle if they like. We cannot change units. So, also, Protoss is allowed to build observers, so they can get their robo away, they can build observers. And Terran is allowed to have Ravens if they want, but they are not allowed to use any of the spells that Ravens have. And same with Zerg and their Overseers. They can build an Overseer, but you cannot use the spells. So that is that. And we have the Terran player known as Protoss as the purple Terran, not accurate whatsoever. We have the teal Protoss, Alex, and we have Vitality, the blue Terran, and the big wand. That is sexual. And what I want to say is, you're watching SSN, man. We do not play the ladder unless we're trolling. That's pretty much how it goes. I somehow managed to supply block myself at 18, a very common error of my own. But I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. The big wand with a proxy pylon that none of us seem to see. I think I recall Smashcab saying, well, there's no proxy pylon. Meanwhile, he could see this one. So that's funny. But unnecessary. Alright, so we are dealing with that just fine. I do not... Okay, I do unsupply block myself. There is my pylon. I was confused. So, to reiterate, I am building nothing but Sentry. I am not allowed to build any other unit than Sentry. Smashcab is not allowed to build anything other than Thors. And SSN Revolve is not allowed to build anything other than Battle Cruisers or Cattle Bruisers in honor of Day 9. And SSN Spite is not allowed to build anything other than Hydra. So, the early game, we've got Tier 3, and Tier 2. I'm the only one with Tier 1, so it's going to be an interesting early game if we are rushed. I don't know what's being pinged. I have an idle worker. Look at me. Look at me. Alright, so our opponents over here look like they're going... We're seeing 2 racks with an engineering bay for early upgrades. Weapons 1 coming out of him. I'm going to throw open the production tab. It looks like, once again, this is evenly divided. So the SSN clan is on the bottom 4, and our opponents are on the top 4. From the teal player, we are seeing a 3-gate with Sentry and a Robo. So 3-gate Robo, maybe a fast expand from him. We are seeing 4 barracks from the blue Terran. And look at this, an early Marine push with Stalker support, and all we have is nothing. So this is going to be a doozy. And there is a proxy pylon, so the big wand does plan on reinforcing this. And 630, still no warp tech. It's 644 on his 4-gate, so that's a little bit sloppy. Just throwing that out there. And I do have a sentry out. How are we going to make this work? Smash Cap does have a Thor out. Once again, oh my god, look at the Thor. Oh, I fucking love the limited edition Thor, guys. But do have 3 cannons down here, so a little bit of static defense should help. But is it going to be enough? I'm being pinged. What's being pinged? I don't even know. But we do have 2 Thor out now. Here they come. We are not at the door. 1 force field goes down to try to narrow the choke. Thor going to just pelt away at this army. But that marine count will be able to vaporize the Thor we have. I do not have enough energy to do any more with force fields. SCV is coming in here to repair. They do not get to that Thor in time. However, they will be able to engage with this Thor and keep him in green health. I do have something. What is my sentry is... What is going on there? My probes attacked my own sentry, and my sentry attacked some probes. That was bizarre. But I do have a sentry out now with some energy. I will be replacing that wall. At the same time, Alex, the Teal Protoss, will be pushing Corinne on the right side. Corinne is Nature's Spite with her Hydra. And yeah, we're also seeing a resupply from blue and red over here. Yeah, just continuing to build Thor. Like I said, not too much to talk about in terms of SSN. I mean, what you see is what you get. We are no longer going to be building any other type of unit, and now there is pinging over here. It's so distracting. We do see our first cattle bruiser from SSN Revolve. It is a drop that was being pinged from the Protoss. The Protoss is dropping with Marine and Marauder. You don't hear that every day. And they will be able to clean that up. However, the Hydra are taking a lot more damage than they need to. 1 Hydra goes down. They could have been microed back. Oh well. Oh wellsies. Oh wellsies. But now this is a bit of an army here that Hydra are damn good against this kind of unit comp here. Immortals are not very good against Hydra, but what do you do? Now this army is pushing against the natural. Force fields go down to cut up the army to keep them in chunks. That way the Thor can deal with the army piece by piece. We will be engaging this Stalker army down here. Guardian Shield to reduce range damage, and some force fields to cut the army up. And the Hydra battlecruisers will be able to come from the other side and sandwich this army, saving Nature Spite's natural. She was Nature Spite before she put SSN Spite. SSN Nature Spite, there was not enough room for that name. She's now SSN Spite. I'm talking! And I'm going to keep talking, and you guys can just shut the... grumble, 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 grumble. So mass sentry here, as always, and continuing with the Thor, we are seeing Marauders now instead of just pure Marine, switching into Marauders to deal with those Thor. However, Marauders do not work very well against Sentry. But that being said, Sentry don't work very well against anything at all. So we are spotting these this Protoss army coming up here, and we are going to go engage that. But then we realize that there is blue sitting here, I believe. I'm trying to remember how this went down. Oh, drop in the back of my base. I could be pulling my line and saving a little bit more, but we are just going to engage this straight up. I did lose 1 sentry, but it's not a huge deal. I do finally pull my line and keep myself from losing any more. Blue now pushing red, coming up here to cancel my expansion here. He did scout that when he flew by with the drop, so a bit of a pain in the ass for me. I will cancel that. I will get my money back. Yeah, there it goes. But I don't know what to tell you, man. Getting my upgrades for my sentry there will be 1-1-1. A little bit gas locked, seeing as how I can't get onto a second base. I'm trying my darndest. And we're starting to see a good number of battle cruisers. BC Thor, man, that works so well together, and you can really keep your opponent in check when... What's going on here? So it's lots of Vikings. They really want to kill those battle cruisers, but Hydra will be supporting this, so we are set up well together. I can cut up the opponent's army so that the Thor can deal with it in chunks, and Hydra do support the BC from things like Vikings. So Nature Spite's expansion will be denied by this push from our opponents. Vitality is confused as fuck because we were all building the same shit over and over and over again. And here come the army. We were about to go help Nature Spite and Eurosmy, but I call it out. I say, look it up. there's some bullshit going down here. So I do come in here with the sentry, but I can't engage by myself. The Thor come in, we cut that army in half, back up, and the Thor will cut that army down where it stands. And over here, we have a big engagement. The battle cruisers are being microed away. They are going down to the Vikings, and the Hydra are having trouble dealing with this army by itself. The Thor engaged this army straight up. A couple more force fields to split that army up so it is out of range. Trying to, you know, just keep these Thor alive. That's all I need. Guardian Shield to reduce damage to the Thor so the SCVs can repair it. I am actually in combat with my sentry at this point, hallucinating a Colossus to soak up damage, trying to keep up with my force fields as best I can so that the Thor only has to deal with the minimal amount of units. This is working reasonably well. Sentry micro is off the hook, baby. And look at this engagement. 2 Thor are fighting an entire army. Bunch of sentry, not really attacking, but just making sure those Thor don't go down. So SSN Eurosmy and Nature Spite are still working down these Vikings, trying not to lose. Microing this. The battlecruiser does go down. And we do manage to clean up this attack up at the top. It is constantly being resupplied, though. Pressure is on us all the time, and we are not allowed to tech switch. So we are seeing lots of units from every which way, constantly getting 2-pronged. We're getting dropped, and we would love to get some air support. We'd love to get some splash damage, but we're not allowed. Okay, so this is all we're allowed. And yeah, just to reiterate, guys, mono battle. It was designed. I'm pretty sure Day 9 came up with this. It's for his Fun Day Mondays and stuff like that. He does cast games with this. So another engagement against the blue forces. And we will be pushing them back. They cannot deal with us by themselves, even though they pretty much hard counter us. But Micro will win the day, that's for sure. We do find Big Wand, I suppose, and we are going to be joined by SSN Revolve with his 2 cattle bruisers. And boy, can you ever bruise cattle with cattle bruisers. So that being denied again, Nature Spite wants that gold so bad, but she cannot get it. Just further spreading her creep so that she can support that base a little bit better. Trying to get some cannons down here again for some base defense so we can deal with this army when it pushes, but it's going to be here too soon. That cannon will not finish. Do I cancel it? I don't cancel it. I don't get my money back to that. 1 cannon is up, and I do call Smash Cab back again. He was going to go assist the other SSNs, so buying myself some time until those Thor can get there. Lots of Vikings here, but we don't have any air units. The cattle bruisers are here with an army of SCVs underneath them. The Thor are managing to just obliterate the stalkers that are trying to engage by themselves, which is a terrible idea for them. Guardian shields to protect my allies, and really cutting this army up with just the Thor. The Thor are doing work on everything. Taking a look at... my mouse is being funny. But we have 6 kills, 3 kills, 1 kill. Just, it's pretty hilarious how well these Thor are doing. Cutting up the army once again with more air support from SSN Revolve. We do have an engagement down here. Hydra against Zealot Stalker. But because she is not allowed to build roaches, she cannot soak up the damage and tank for her Hydras. So she has to micro against this. It's really difficult. Trying to split. There is a battle cruiser, but no one is paying attention to it. Further combat down here. The SCVs were trying to repair my sentry. They were actually getting in the way. I couldn't retreat at one point and lost a few. But it is interesting idea that you can repair a sentry. Not that they have a whole lot of health to tank with anyway. But we are pushing out of our base. We are finally being able to put some pressure on our opponents, even with no choice in what we get to build. So Guardian Shield going up again, trying to protect these Thor. Force Field cutting that army in half. But Zealots do manage to get in, and I tried to force field the Thor. The problem is the Thor actually crushed my force fields, so I tried to keep them safe from the Zealots, but that didn't work. And it does look like Nature Spite did manage to fend that off with the help of some battle cruisers, and the Protoss player is going to come back here. He's going to try to help his allies as they are getting obliterated by this Thor count. Mass scan. Just to troll our opponents there, like, what the fuck is going on? And That is a weird sight to see. Force field's cutting that army up again, and the Thor are getting a little overwhelmed here. I am starting to lose some sentry. They are running low on energy too. I don't have much energy left on any of my sentries. A couple of force fields, but not enough left for any guardian shields. And these Thor, now they're on their own pretty much. I am retreating with my sentry. I'm going to group up, get some more, and probably rejoin with him shortly after. Now SSN Spite and SSN Eurosmy are pushing forward. They're getting into our opponent's base with their cattle bruisers, with their hydralisks, and this is quite the successful venture, I believe. We are seeing SCVs attacking Alex's base, so he is SCV rushing 20 minutes into the game. Vitality leaves, and this is looking good for the SSN. And oh my god, mass gorgeous Thor, man. So my sentry are coming back with a Thor, and we're gonna roll some face. So I'm finally getting this expansion up, but it's a little late, and that is the game. So this is game 2 of the SSN ladder matches, where we can only build one unit for the rest of our games. Tune in next time. You're watching StarCraft Inc.